Hey, welcome to the Podcast Engineering Show. My name is Chris Curran. I produce podcasts, and I also teach at Podcast Engineering School. And this is a show where I deliver podcast production techniques on a silver platter. Now, yes, I have pod faded. I haven't put out an episode in a while, but I wanted to remind you, I've done almost 200 episodes where I interview people about their podcast equipment, their setup, their production workflow, how they process their audio. So definitely go back and listen to older episodes of this show. You will learn a ton for sure, right? And there are very few people who have heard all 200 of them. So, and by the way, real quick, today we're going to get into the production workflow of my new show, Fractal Bitcoin. I'm really excited about this. We're going to go through the whole production workflow in terms of video and audio. But first, I want to mention the next semester of Podcast Engineering School starts on June 4th of 2024, and we do it every quarter. So, for people who want to learn how to produce professional audio for podcasts, you want to learn how to be a professional, learn how to have clients, and make a living producing podcasts, that's what I teach. It's all about the audio production. So let's get into this. Here we go. This is the production workflow of my new show, Fractal Bitcoin. Yeah, and I do it. It's a video show, really, but I also publish it in audio. So let me show you here. This is the YouTube channel for Fractal Bitcoin. It's been going really well. And this is the Apple Podcasts page for Fractal Bitcoin. It's a show where I talk about basically Bitcoin news. And it works out. It works out. So let's start here. Let's overview my current audio equipment setup. So right now I'm speaking into my RE20 microphone, and attached to that I have my SE Electronics DM1 Dynamite. It's an active inline preamp. It's basically a gain booster. It's really nice. And I'm plugging all that into my Neve Portico 2 channel strip, which is a very expensive channel strip, and I'm using the compressor on it and also the high-pass filter a little bit. And I have that plugged into my interface, which is a Sound Devices Mix Pre 6 first generation, and that's going into my iMac Pro. Yeah, so that's my equipment. Oh, and I also had some to show you here. Here's the RE20 microphone. Well, you can see it in front of my face too. And here's the DM1, the Dynamite DM1. This is it right here, the gain booster. And then here's my channel strip. It's a Portico 2. I don't think they make it anymore. It's not on the Rupert Neve website, but it's a real nice channel strip. And of course, my now they label it Legacy Mix Pre 6. Yeah, it's a first gen. So let's keep going and let's overview my production workflow. So first, I start out by gathering posts and news stories from Nostr, from X, and a few other industry websites. And this takes me about 2 hours. And yeah, I'm looking for news articles, the news of the day about Bitcoin. And that includes news, but also, anything that's newsworthy for the day. And then I order all the posts and the stories for the show notes. I put them in a cohesive order. And then I create a title for the episode, which that doesn't take very long, but sometimes it's tricky. And then I create a 16 by 9 a 16 by 9 thumbnail for the episode using ChatGPT, which uses DALL-E 3 to generate images. So yeah, I have to, and this is a real help, because if it wasn't for ChatGPT, I would struggle with making thumbnails, and my thumbnails would be horrendous. But ChatGPT makes it real nice, and even if we go, we can just quickly go back here, and you can look. These are some of my thumbnails. I mean, I'm not saying they're great, but it's something. Okay, so after I make the thumbnail, then I'm pretty much done with my preparation. Then I restart my computer, and then I arrange all my browser tabs, because I show them in order. And then I open OBS Studio, and I do a short test recording. And yeah, I mean, like, just to make sure my audio and video are being recorded fine. And basically my audio levels and my video camera and my lighting stay the same every day. So there's never really a surprise, but I always do a short test recording because I never want to record. I never want to think I'm recording an episode and then get all done and be like, oh my God, it wasn't recording. Okay, so I record my episode as if it's live to an MOV file in OBS, and I record at 1920 by 1080, 60 frames per second. The video bitrate is 16,000 kbps. The audio bitrate is 2,304 kbps. And just for reference, my average video is about 15 minutes long, which ends up being around a 2 gigabyte file, an MOV file. And that's it. I capture it. I do it as if it's live, and I like doing that. And okay, then I produce the video. The post-production of the video I do first, and I process the audio in Isotope RX. And if we look, yeah, that's ChatGPT. Here's OBS Studio. I'll put links to everything below as well. But yeah, here's Isotope RX 11, and I process all the audio in there. I make it a mono file usually because OBS records in stereo, and I only need a mono file, so I make it a mono file first. And then I silence any lip smacks and any noises, and you have to silence them. You can't delete them. Can't delete anything because the audio has to line up with the video, right? So any cutting I have to do in the video editor. And right now in Isotope RX, I'm just doing the audio. It's like audio cleanup. So then I level the audio to minus 16 LUFS for mono or minus 13.5 LUFS for stereo, and that's for video. Those are the video loudness standards. And then I save it as a 32-bit WAV file. To retain all the quality. And then I bring the raw video and the processed audio into ScreenFlow. And ScreenFlow is, I believe it's for Mac only. It's a little video editor. It's pretty good. It's pretty simple. It works. I don't do any crazy video editing. Yeah, and like I said, usually I don't need to make any edits, but sometimes I do. Sometimes small edits. And then when I'm done with that, when I'm done in ScreenFlow, I render the video as an MP4 file and basically the same resolution, 1920 by 1080, 60 frames per second, video bitrate at 16,000 kbps. Now the audio bitrate here is a little lower. It's 256 kbps at 48 kilohertz. So that's still a very high bitrate, and that works. And that MP4 file, that's my final video file. And again, the resulting file ends up being about the same as the raw video recording, which is about 2 gigabytes for a 15-minute long video. And then I upload, and well, I actually changed the file name too, but anyway. Then I upload and publish the video to YouTube. That's the main place where I'm growing my video platform. But I also upload to Rumble and BitChute and TikTok and Flare.pub, which Flare.pub is a Nostr platform, and there I upload a much smaller version, 960 by 540, because I have to actually pay Bitcoin, pay some Satoshis for some file storage, so I just put up a smaller version there, and it works out. And then once the video's up, I promote my YouTube video, I promote the YouTube channel, and the YouTube video, I promote it on Nostr, on X, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and also a few other platforms, a few smaller platforms that really get no traction. And then I also post the YouTube link to my locals community because I'm growing a locals community, which is it's a really cool community. It's still small, but I'm happy to be growing my community there. And then for shorts, I use Opus Clip to create 5 shorts from each of my daily videos. So every day, basically as soon as I'm done with the video, I'll upload it to Opus Clip, and it does all the work. It literally divides them up, it transcribes it, it puts the word, the text on the screen, does everything. And then, I just have to tweak it a little, but I save 5 different shorts and I upload those 5 shorter ones to YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikTok, and also LinkedIn. So that's it. That's the video once, and then I publish it everywhere and the video's done. And then in terms of the audio only podcast, I should show you here. Yeah, this is Opus Clip. It's really cool. It's not even that expensive, but it's really, wow, it saves so much time. So then I produce the audio only podcast. And first I edit the audio a bit. I usually do that in Isotope RX because I already have the file open there. And it's pretty simple editing. I remove any isolated any flubs, and I also reduce the length of any dead air, if there is any, in order to speed up the pacing slightly. Because sometimes on video I'll be switching screens, or there'll be like 2 or 3 seconds there that it's not too long. I mean, it doesn't really make it drag too much, but I like to tighten it up, take out the little longer spaces to tighten up the pacing of the audio only. And then I level it to the podcasting loudness standards, which is 18, well, really it's 19 LUFS mono or 16 LUFS stereo, but I cheat. I make it 0.5 LUFS louder.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Barry. Oh, yeah. And then I save it as a 32-bit WAV file. That's that's for the archive, the full resolution archive file, as well as an MP3 file at 96 kbps mono, because it's usually a mono file. But if I ever have an episode that has to be in stereo, I do 192 for stereo. And then I tag the MP3 using ID3 editor, which is a very simple editor, which has been around forever. I like it. I really like this to tag my MP3s. And then I upload the MP3 to Captivate, which is a podcast hosting company, which I just started using recently for this show, Fractal Bitcoin. And so I upload the show notes and I publish the episode through Captivate. And then for my website for the show, I use Podpage, which is awesome because it automatically brings in each episode from Captivate. So, within 30 minutes, or really, I just go to Podpage and I click refresh, refresh the feed, and it brings it in immediately. Brings it in as like, a blog post, and then I'm able to quickly optimize the post to, and then I can optimize the post, to make things headings and bold. And then I can actually add the YouTube video to that post, and then I can add images. It's really very cool. So yeah, that's basically my production. In the show notes of this episode, I'm going to include all the links to Fractal Bitcoin, which again, this is Captivate, captivate.fm. And then this is Podpage. This is how this looks. This is the back end of Podpage. Very cool platform. It's not cheap, but it's great. And so yeah, this is the main channel, Fractal Bitcoin on YouTube. And the other thing I wanted to mention is because I'm discussing Bitcoin, and a lot of people don't know very much about Bitcoin, so I will give you one piece of advice. This is a great Bitcoin book, which you should read first. This is like the Bible in terms of Bitcoin. It's called The Bitcoin Standard by Saifedean Amos, and I'll put the link in the show notes. But yeah, this is the Bitcoin Standard book. If you really want to just understand Bitcoin from a high level, it's very easy to understand. You should read that book because a lot of people don't know anything about Bitcoin, but they're afraid of it, or they believe what they hear in the media, whatever. That book is a great book. So yeah, that's it. I just wanted to walk you a quick walk through my production of Fractal Bitcoin. And check out the show if you want. And by the way, the video and audio you're hearing right now is the same video and audio that I use on that show. So anyway, just to let you know that. So, all right, well, that's it. Now, in terms of the podcast engineering show, I don't know when I'm going to do another episode. It'll probably be a while. It's not really my focus these days. Although I am still doing podcast engineering school, as I mentioned in the beginning. So The next semester starts June 4th. And, the school is really great for especially young folks who, any young folks like 18 to 22 years old who maybe they're not college material. Maybe they play guitar or drums. They're into music, but they don't want to go to college. Well, they can learn how to produce audio podcasts and then work from home, get a bunch of clients, and make a great living. So that's what my school teaches. And yeah, so that's it. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And for you audio only folks, I made a video of this and I'm putting it up on YouTube as well. So, all right, well, that's it. Thank you. I really appreciate you watching and listening, and I'll talk to you soon. And, if you have any questions, let me know. Happy to help. All right. See ya.